Right, AJ. 10 years old this week. The first of a horror franchise. Not necessarily your cup of tea, um, but something I actually really, really enjoyed. 10 years old this week is 2013's original The Purge. Have you seen anything in this franchise?
I've actually seen number one. I've
Oh,
actually
good.
seen them. Yeah. So it is quite fitting. It's the concept is really good. I actually
Yep.
like the concept of what could be, in a world where the world is, for better or worse, living in a way that to eliminate crime, you've got a day that you can go ham on that day. Um,
Oh, ham.
my my difficulty was when I thought of sequels. I thought the Purge in itself should be just a standalone one film because of what it should be. So for me, I was impressed by this film. Not talking the franchise, I was impressed by the concepts of it. The whole concept of should you let someone in when the rule number one is just lock yourself in, avoid everybody else at all costs, come out the next day. That's what it should be. When it starts to get a bit tricky, there's someone in the house, there's the people getting locked off. Now you're like, it builds for good tension. It builds for good tension. So it from a guy who's not the biggest horror fan, I've not actually given any of the other Purges a shot. I was impressed by not number one gave, but I didn't believe it should have had a second.
Well, the second was very different to the first. What I always really liked about the first is how contained it was. It was very kind of much like a Stranger Knocks haunted house type thing, although obviously not haunted house, but the premise, the concept, the execution was very much based around that. It's like, oh, we're in a house, hide, right? The others just went nuts. It started like going to the White House. It started being death in the streets. It was like, fucking hell, like, okay. But yeah, I'm a big fan of these movies, especially the first one, and it hasn't aged. It's a lot of fun. Now, 20 years old. This is timely. AJ, 20 years old, your favorite in the franchise. And it's a franchise you've definitely seen in which you've just spoken about. Well, if you're watching the Throwback Thursday video, please go and watch our extended, full silver screen news show to know what we're talking about. But we were just talking about this franchise, The Fast and the Furious, because 20 years old is Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yes. Sorry, if you go back to a previous pod, just listen on Spotify, you will know that AJ's numero uno is Too Fast, Too Furious. Funny enough, I saw a video just the other day. Do you know Ludacris was actually meant to be Ja Rule, who was meant to play the
Yes.
part? Yeah, I saw that the other day. He's like, sloppy seconds ain't so bad. Do you know it's really funny? Without even knowing that this was going to be on a 20-year scale, I was just thinking about it coincidentally, just this morning on the way to work, and I was like, I just had fun with this film. And
Yes.
yeah, 20 years again, I just had fun with it. They just upped the ante with the nitrous oxide. It looked like Pimp My Ride, the movie edition. All of it was just cool. It was all literal micro machines brought to life. It was Need for Speed brought to life. And you'll never hear me say a bad word about the film. I had great fun with it.
The first 20 minutes were.
I've not looked back since you've made that statement. And sometimes I like keeping my treasure chests as they are.
And that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Because I am going to go on the record now for new viewers of the Silver Screen Dudes YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Everything AJ has just said is true, minus the all. Because it's not all. The first 20 minutes of this movie are literally Need for Speed Underground on steroids. And it's great. The moment they've picked up the Ferrari from the guy, for the guy rather, to get his freaking cigar cutter, oh, it gets painful. It gets painfully bad. And I've listen. Obviously, you can't exclude the beginning of a movie to get your whole global impression of a movie. But if you take out that beginning of the movie, good lord, there's not much entertainment left.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I had good fun. I think one of the things that you'll always find is it's definitely a product of its time. Where Fast and the Furious
Mm.
1 any given time because it's more action based. This one became more car based, and it was very much the way people were viewing their cars at the time. Like people were impressed by nitrous oxide in number one. They upped it like every minute. It was Nas, Nas. We need more Nas. It was just literally just there. Cars were looking as fancy dancy as possible because that's what you were seeing literally every day on MTV. Oh my God, you've added a screen to my car. Thank you, Exhibit Man. Like all of that crap was going on to the highest degree. And that's exactly what they've done. They just amped it all and gave it to you in that film. And yeah,
Or as it
I
went
just recall.
later, because I'm your boy, Tim Westwood, and I is about to pimp your ride.
Thank God that bastard's cancelled. But yeah.
Is he actually?
Ooh, yeah. I think there's a Channel 5 documentary that was out there that showed he is one dirty predator.
Oh, no. Well,
Yeah.
keep it away from that then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 20 years old is Too Fast,
My
Too Furious.
God.
AJ.
It's hard to think that there's 10 years between the two of those, to be honest. It's mad.
Right?
God.
But now,
Right.
the 30-year-old. So, look, because of the amount of movies that you and me consume, and because of how old we both are now, I guess it's kind of like, yeah, okay, this feels kind of like 30 years old, but this film has not aged. Like, it's crazy. AJ, I'm so happy to be doing Throwback Thursday this week because in at 30 years old is the first ever film I saw in the cinema. Jurassic Park
No.
is 30 years old this week. Jurassic Park is 30 years old this week. Well, we've just found our thumbnail. The face.
Logically, it makes sense.
Yes, but
It
when you
makes
break it
sense.
down,
Now,
30 years is so long.
I mean, oh my days. I was 7 when this came out then. Oh, words. Let's get words. Now, Jurassic Park has different meanings for both of us in different ways. For you, it's your first cinema experience. I believe Beethoven was mine. However, Jurassic Park to this day remains the one film I have seen multiple times in the cinema. I recall this. I've told the story before, but for the benefit of Throwback Thursday, I'll do it very quickly. My uncle used to take us to the cinema, went with him, then went with my parents, then we went with an aunt. Like it's continuously there. And yeah, time has progressed, but no way did I. Oh my days, I'm old. No way did I think that this would touch 30 years old. And a timeless piece at that.
Timeless, completely timeless. Like, listen, I cannot wait to share this movie with my young daughter. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Dude, this is as close to movie perfection as you can get. It's such a groundbreaking work of art, this film. The pacing is perfect. The casting choices are perfect. The tension is palpable. The action is insane. The effects and what they have done is on another level. The set pieces, the brilliant dialogue. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Oh God, dude, like the soundtrack, the John went dun, 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 na, 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 na. Like everything about this movie is just as close as you can get to perfection. And it's
Dare I
30
say, it's not
freaking years
often it
old.
happens. It's not often it happens, but there's this weird, dare I call it goosebumps? There's this weird shiver in my body that is just like, I don't believe that. This is the first Throwback Thursday in a long time, but it's not the first Throwback Thursday. Okay, guys? This is weird. This is weird. Like for different reasons, it's the beginning of a cinema journey for each of the silver screen dudes, and this is weird. I'm
Remake.
still processing. I'm still no. No, because they've tried that on multiple occasions.
It
Often,
doesn't work.
often imitated, never duplicated. Whether it's a sequel or a sidequel, it doesn't matter. Even let's bring both this new generation and the old generation together. It doesn't work. This film, again, not to be duplicated. Do not touch it. Just accept it for what it is and move on. Oh, good Lord above.
They've tried 5 times to better this movie and they can't do it.
Yeah. No.
It's insane.
Well, consider me stumped. Like out of words with shock. Like this is the time now where a lot of the favorites, I'm guessing this is a perfect time for us to bring it back because a lot of our favorites are going to now be reoccurring.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Oh,
1993 is 30 years ago. We're into the 90s, baby. It's time.
Oh my days, Jurassic Park.
Don't worry, Lion King is next year.
Listen, there's a lot of stuff I'm just looking at. I'm waiting for someone to tell me that Ace, The Mask.
Ace might be older, you know.
But isn't it 94? I swear it's 94. Anyway, let's not get into spoiler territory, but these are the things that scare me. And you know what's going to scare? Oh, my days. Long live the silver screen dudes, and we both, touch wood, see life. We aren't that far away. Bear with me with this. And guys, it's not a spoiler because there's enough years to go. Someone's soon going to say to us, American Pie's 30 years old, and I'm not ready for that.
Oh, damn it.
I'm not.
Don't say it. That's going to be crazy. That's going to actually be crazy. But guys, that 1 hour in, that is the end of Silver Screen News episode 1. And boy, does it feel good to be back. If you've watched the whole show, thank you. If you've listened to this on podcast, thank you. Some, not all, but some of the news stories are going to be snipped up and uploaded onto our YouTube channel. You can find the YouTube channel by just searching The Silver Screen Dudes. It's got both of our ugly mugs at the top on the banner. Not Silver Screen Dudes. That's our old channel, which we've shut down. So search for The Silver Screen Dudes. Please do subscribe there and turn on the notification bell if you haven't already. And we're gonna see you next week with more movie news, and you can also stay tuned to the channel because you'll be seeing Movie Mount Rushmore in a reformatted, shorter version. Also coming up next Tuesday will be the first episode of that airing on our channel. So stay tuned for all of that goodness, and we will see you next week right here on Silver News. I'm Nico Liro.
I'm AJ. See ya.
See ya.